So, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were the second installments of Gen 8 and released back in 2021. And they're disappointing. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I've been against Diamond Pearl remakes for quite a few years at this point. So, my opinion on them is that before they came out, I didn't think they should have been made. Diamond Pearl, well, they're fun games. Yeah, they're not the best games in the series, but they're playable. They're not like, oh my god, they're so difficult to find these days. They're difficult to find, but I kind of have to say the Gen 3 games had more of a reason to be remade due to the fact that they were on a console that had not been sold in stores at that moment when they were being remade. While Diamond Pearl, you can easily find these depending on where you looked at in like the year they got remade and the year after they got remade. So I guess a little background since that's over. How do these compare to the originals? Well, they're glorified remasters. Yeah, there are some parts about BDSP that do work, but then there's also things that didn't work. I guess what does work? Well, these games do run pretty good. Graphics are okay. Like the overworld chibi style, I'm kind of mixed on. I would have preferred it either looking like Legends or Sword and Shield. And I gotta say, the Pokemon battles aren't too bad. But there's a lot of things that are wrong with this game. First of all, you have to cut national decks, which did annoy some people. Personally, this doesn't bother me, but you can't get silver on this game, which is kind of disappointing. Then the fact that these games can't even trade with Sword and Shield was also slightly disappointing. Then there's the fact that we lose 60 Pokemon. No, they didn't get deleted from the game. It's just for some reason, they did not carry over the Platinum decks. As you know, Diamond Pearl only launched with 150 Pokemon in its Pokedex. 2 years later, Platinum came out, well, at least here in the States, and added 60 new Pokemon. Well, old Pokemon. But expanded the Pokedex to 210 Pokemon, which, yeah, isn't by much these days, but back then it definitely was something that made Platinum worth buying. And while you can find a lot of these Pokemon underground, they should have been in the Pokedex to begin with. I don't know why they did this, especially since Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as well as Oras, kind of added Pokemon that were introduced in later generations to the Pokedex. Heart Gold had 5, while Oras, I want to say, I think had 12 or 10 Pokemon. So it's just disappointing that BDSP didn't do that. Then there's also the fact that, well, again, they take out basic features from Platinum, such as the new character models. Well, they had different clothes in that one. And though you could get them through a special event a few months after when the games got launched, well, that event no longer is around. Goes not mentioned is the fact that, well, Diamond Pearl had a severe lack of fire types. Platinum added 2 more fire types. Actually, no, I think they added 3, I think. Okay, Platinum did add a few new types to the roster, but BDSP just kind of stuck with the original Pokedex, which kind of screws over Candace, Faulkner, and Flint, which isn't something you want to do to a gym leader who uses a specific type. I know some people have claimed that makes them tougher, but I disagree. It just kind of makes it disappointing. And while they get these Pokemon in the rematches, which I gotta say, having rematches against Elite Four and gym leaders, that's pretty cool. they made Cynthia pretty tough this time, and her rematches are, well, very difficult. But going back to our previous topic, the major complaint I see with these games is that they removed features that Platinum introduced, which just kind of limits the potential of these games. And personally, while I do like BDSP, I gotta say, BDSP and Legends should have been one game. Nintendo shouldn't have let whomever they made these games. I don't know the developers off the top of my head. And, well, the developers did a good job with these games. Like, I do like BDSP. I really love them. Even if it's extremely controversial to say you enjoyed these games, at least if you're on other places online, I gotta say they really should have just had this and Legends as one game. I feel like it would have been a brand new experience. Legends could have been like a post-game DLC or kind of a new plot line. I think that would have been cool, but Nintendo probably didn't think so. So, I guess, what are my final thoughts on these remakes? Well, I would definitely try them. If you're a fan of Sinnoh, well, the original Sinnoh games, you might not get as much enjoyment out of them, but if you don't care what version of Sinnoh you try, I gotta say, pick these ones up. I had a lot of fun with these ones. Even though I've been critical of them, I've had I think about 100 hours in BDSP, and I gotta say it was worth the time and money. I definitely hope to see more remakes in the future, but if these are the final remakes, I don't blame Nintendo. But as always, there's my thoughts of the game. I'll of course be reviewing Legends Arceus sometime in the future along with Scar and Violet. So stay tuned. And until then, goodbye.